I never heard of the Jacksonville Free Press before this weekend. And I don't know that I'm going to go back to the Jacksonville Free Press because I don't know that it was a great sales pitch for me to subscribe to the Jacksonville Free Press based on their reporter Lynn Jones and what she did in a press conference with Liam Cohen after Jacksonville lost in the playoffs to the Buffalo Bills. And it sparked a national debate about the fun police, about journalism with a capital J, about new media and the way things are going in sports media. But I think to get to the bottom of all of this that Pat McAfee followed up on yesterday, we got to start from the beginning and let you hear exactly what was said during a press conference with Liam Cohen. This is post-loss to the Buffalo Bills on Sunday.
I want to tell you congratulations on your success, young man.
Thank you.
You hold your head up, all right? You guys have had a most magnificent season.
Thank you.
And you did a great job out there today.
Appreciate
so you
it.
just hold your head up, okay?
Thank
and
you,
ladies
ma'am.
and gentlemen, Duval, you the one, all right?
you, ma'am.
keep it going. We got another season, okay?
I appreciate
Take
it.
care and much continued success to you and the entire team.
Thank you, ma'am.
First off, Lynn Jones sounds like a lovely woman. I'd love for her to come in every day and give me a pep talk like that. Very encouraging. And the sound of her voice, it just encourages me. So she seems like an awesome person and is legitimately happy about the direction of the Jacksonville organization, even after a first-round loss. And there's good reason to feel great about the job Liam Cohen did and Jacksonville moving forward and all those things. And I don't think it's anything out of line to be positive if you want. Now, this has sparked the debate on what is press conference etiquette. Should we call Lynn Jones a reporter when you're going to go to a press conference and offer up encouragement and cheering on the head coach during the press conference? And this is not a new debate. This is an age-old journalism with a capital J, went to journalism school. There are way things are done. There's protocol. It is a higher calling to be a journalist. A lot of people feel that way about their own profession. And then you got, whether it be a team site or more fan reporters out there like a Lynn Jones, what we heard, there's always that dividing line between journalists with a capital J and everyone else. And I think Pat McAfee yesterday on his show, which has gotten a lot of attention, he highlighted that divide when he said this on the show. He said, love seeing these sports journalists getting absolutely buried for being curmudgeon bums. Obviously not all of them, but a large percentage of these things, that's interesting, hate sports. They hate what sports are for people, happiness. They hate what sports are for society, a unifier. They're political journalists by nature who've preyed on sports because they saw it as an easier path to make it. Their days are numbered. My show being broadcast on ESPN 10 hours a week with zero creative say from any journalism school puppets is living proof of that. That's why they attack me as much as possible. I'm happy the world is starting to see what they truly are. Now we as a society have to stop taking these particular humans seriously. Their opinions and thoughts are coming from a place of wanting to destroy sports. Sports are the greatest thing on earth. These MFers have no idea and will never get it. That was from Pat McAfee yesterday. I think Pat makes some good points. I think he's also just a little bit off base on the real issue here with this. I don't think that sports journalists hate sports. I think some of them certainly do. I think some of them hate the atmosphere surrounding sports. I think some are incredibly liberal and very politically minded, and I've met some of them. I think naturally journalism draws in people that are pretty liberal. They draw in people that are naturally cynics, that are critical of everything. This is just what that profession breeds. Scientists and doctors, those are people who are analytical and have a scientific brain. They're going to bring in certain types of people. I think the journalism profession, whether it be political journalism, sports journalism, whatever it may be, they bring in a lot of times pretty left-leaning, cynical, oftentimes angry people to that profession. That's just a fact. Now, I don't think it's a majority of sports journalists with a capital J hate sports. I know plenty of them that love sports. But I do think some probably they don't. And I think that's exactly what Pat McAfee is illustrating there.
Hey, if you like the channel, become a season ticket holder for Hot Mic by clicking the subscribe button below and join the conversation in the comments section. Agree, disagree, we'll join you there in the chat. Now back to Hot Mic.
I think a bigger issue with the journalists that hate Pat McAfee or hate Barstool Sports or, hell, even hate us or whoever it is, I think they hate what they feel it represents. So if you are seen as, okay, guy's wearing a tank top on the show and he's a bit macho and he swears and does this and that and he's got a predominantly male following and people are going to take that as, well, he's a macho pig and he's this and that, and I don't buy into what he breathes. The Barstool thing has been that way forever. I remember HBO Real Sports doing a profile on Dave Portnoy and Barstool Sports, and it was a hit piece. I mean, they were going to go after the worst elements of Barstool Sports and treat it like it was a sexist, fascist, whatever-ist you want to throw on there type operation. And that's just what these journalists with a capital J are going to do because their brain and their ideals oftentimes are the opposite of what Pat McAfee preaches or whoever else. So I agree that some sports journalists don't like sports. I disagree that on the whole, there are a bunch of people or things, as Pat McAfee said, that hate sports or want to see sports go away or whatever. They want to see sports through their lens. They want to see sports as an avenue for a meritocracy and greatness the way they want it to happen. And when it doesn't go the way they want it to happen, they get pissed off and they don't like it. So I think McAfee makes some good points, but here's where he's off in this whole argument. Pat McAfee rails against the establishment nonstop. He rails against his haters and his critics nonstop. And he is seen as an anti-establishment person. He sees himself as that. I got news for Pat McAfee. You're the establishment, man. You're on ESPN 10 hours a week, as you said. You're on College Game Day. You're on every type of simulcast possible for every major sporting event that ESPN has. ESPN is still the worldwide leader of sports. There is a bar there that's very high from ESPN. A lot of people would love to be ESPN. A lot of people would love to be you. So you're no longer this underdog, upstart, feel-good story. You're the man. And I'm saying the man with a capital M. You're the one everyone's chasing. That's a compliment, by the way. You and others, I would throw Barstool in there. I would throw some of what Clay Travis has done over the years in there. There are a number of people who have shifted the dynamic in sports coverage and sports media over the years to where we are now, to where shows like this one can thrive. Shows like Pat McAfee can be on ESPN all week and thrive and have a huge YouTube following and get all the premier sporting events that you want if you're Pat McAfee. I'm a big McAfee fan. I think the guy's terrific. I think that his joy in covering sports, it's infectious. I want to see more of that. I talked a lot about Tony Romo and his failures yesterday, and there are a lot with the broadcast, but one thing that I know about Tony Romo, he likes football. He has fun watching the games, and that comes across on the broadcast. What pisses me off more than anything else, and I hear this often from people I even know in media, when you're acting like it is a burden to go cover a pro football team or go cover any pro sports, give me a break. We're in the toy department of life here. It's a great job. I love my job. I love getting to talk sports every day. I love getting to talk sports here before the show even begins in studio with a bunch of other people who are smart and love sports too. It's fun. I'd be doing this shit if I wasn't paid to do it. That's how much I love it. And I hope that comes across. It comes across for Pat McAfee. And he's right. Sports are the best unifier going. When you give a high five to someone next to you at a football game or a basketball game, baseball, whatever, you're not asking what they think about the ICE shooting in Minnesota. You're not asking them who they voted for in the last election. You're not asking them their thoughts on Venezuela. You're giving them a high five because your favorite player just scored a damn touchdown. And that's awesome. I want to get back to more of that. I'd love to see more of that. Pat McAfee is about that. Pat McAfee is, I believe, a 100% genuine dude when it comes to that. He does not give a damn about politics, doesn't want to get involved in it. The dude loves ball, and he loves talking about it. He loves the characters that surround the sport. He loves characters that are driven to compete at the highest level and talking to them. The dude loves fun, and I think we could all use a little bit of fun all the time. So I'm all for his success. I'm all for what his show has done for ESPN. I'm all for what that shows the rest of media and new media of what sports coverage can be. I disagree, though, that these sports journalists all hate sports. I think a lot of them love sports. I think a lot of them love their own political ideas. And it's going to come across in what they write or what they say. And I think more importantly to Pat McAfee's argument, it comes across in who they don't like and who they criticize and who they're going to go after. And Pat McAfee is a favorite target of those sports journos that he's talking about. But get used to it because he's the establishment now. He's the man. It's going to be more of this. Take it as a compliment. I would also give the same advice to McAfee, and neither one of these guys are asking for my advice at any time, and understandably so. But don't let the haters get you down. Kirk Herbstreit and Pat McAfee both fall into the same category of their ears are too big. And I'm not talking about physically. I'm talking about their ears are burning constantly. They're looking for the heat. They're going online looking for those people who don't like them. They're reading the negative content about them from people on social media, and I think it does creep in and affect their job. Sometimes for good, in the case of McAfee, sometimes for bad, I think in the case of Kirk Herbstreit. But make no mistake, both guys are very good at what they do, and Pat McAfee is now the establishment. That's what companies are going to. This is what the sports consumer wants, is more content like that. That is fun. That does bring in people. That isn't off-putting. That doesn't come with some journalistic shield in front of it that feels unapproachable. Now, press conference etiquette and all that, I mean, they're not covering the White House. They're not covering some huge crisis overseas. I think we can chill a little bit on what's allowed and what's not in press conferences. Also, I understand if you're in that press conference how annoying that would be to sit through Lynn Jones and her pump-up speech to Liam Cohen.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to OutKick Hot Mic.
Daily content and more at OutKick Hot Mic on YouTube.